So how's your day been? Might have been a bit of a hoo-ha day. It might have been a really good day. It might have been a sad day. We just got to hold on to those little moments that give us peace and of mind and tranquility, I think. No matter what the world throws at you, you've just got to push on, and I think acceptance is the biggest thing. There's been a lot of things that have happened in my week this week that I've absolutely got no control over. So we've just got to try and ride the waves, I think. I'm just talking from my heart now. I don't know, your circumstances might be different than that, but I think I mentioned in the last video about mindset and having the correct mindset and mindfulness is not only beneficial for health and happiness. I think it also helps us with anxieties and depressions and that we've got. And I've been dealing with acute anxiety now for a good few years. And I haven't had an episode. I had a little episode last night, actually. I had a little tweak. I had this little blip last night over something really stupid, and I could feel myself getting all uptight and angry, and I was raising my voice, and I wanted to kick a cupboard. Not the cat, the cupboard. And I really just had to go and sit down quietly and just try and clear my mind and not think about what the problem was or think about how to resolve the problem. It was more about just clearing the mind and thinking, how is this going to affect others? I'm not worried about how it affects me, which is, again, it could be anything. It could be debt, it could be something stupid, or it could be anything that sparks your anxiety off. You really have got to sit down and just take that couple of minutes out and try and, what's the worst going to happen? What's the worst going to happen? That's all we've got to think of. Is this eventually going to get sorted out? It will get it sorted out. As I said, every circumstance is different, and I can't be precise on what that issue is, but this particular thing that kicked off with me last night was just something immaterial, really, but it was enough to get me going. And anxiety is one of these things that it's picking at the back of your brain, pick, like a little woodpecker making its home in a tree. It's persistence and its dedication of hitting that tree with its beak. This big oak tree, or the sycamore tree, is really tough and hard, but he knows if he keeps picking like this, pick, eventually he'll make a hole. And once he gets through that certain part of the tree, and you'll notice a woodpecker will always go to a tree and go, and he'll fly to another one and go, and you'll hear this in the woods. You know what he's doing? He's actually checking to see if the inside of a tree is rotten. So sometimes you get tree rot, and sometimes the part of the tree it gets rotten inside, but it looks okay from the outside. A bit like our state of mind. Some of us with anxiety and depression might have this outer shell of being normal, but inside it's chaos. There's so many comedians in the world over the years that have one of the funniest men on earth, Robin Williams, but then again he'd go home and he'd cry and he'd be depressed and he'd take a drink, and the only time he felt alive was either when he was on the stage or when he was riding on his push bike around LA. So what I'm trying to say is that we sometimes, like that woodpecker, we've got to stop this picking, because our anxiety I'm talking about, anxiety tends to pick its way out rather than pick its way in like a woodpecker. So it's testing. Is it? So that woodpecker knows that the tree is rotten, so he knows if he gets through this certain amount of crust or hard bark, then the rest is easy. And what we're going to do is turn that around. What we're going to do is stop that picking from happening, or allow it to pick, but just say, no, this is a steel wall, and put that barrier up. On the other hand, when people suffer with depression, they got this barrier up, and as people, we've got to see that there is that emotional soft shell underneath, and some people are so good at hiding their true feelings that it's hard for us to see that. But if you do see it, then, you know, help them if you can. Do whatever you can to help them. Anything you can do to help somebody like that, it all helps. And try and reassure them and try and tell them that it's okay not to be okay. I don't know, I'm just waffling. Maybe I'm talking sense, maybe I'm not. But that's why I like making vlogs like this, because it's just me talking directly from my heart. And, you know, if it helps a little bit, then it helps. If it doesn't, then I hope it will in the future. That's all I can say. So enough from this old man waffling on this rainy day here in Wales, and I shall see you tomorrow or the next day or whenever I decide to make a video in actual fact. So don't forget about that woodpecker. And don't forget to make time for yourself and chill out.